Okay, welcome back to episode 164 of the Guru Talking Sports Podcast. Now, I know that this is in the second part of this podcast, only because something just basically paused and gave me another new set of time to basically record this. So what I'm going to do is there's going to be a part two. And like I said, next week will still be episode 165. But it'll be basically, like I said, this will be in two parts. Okay, so let me get on to the poo-poo of the week. No, I'll tell you what. Let's go to basketball. Let's talk some basketball. Milwaukee got upset, and they got beat because of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler basically handed those guys a first-round exit. Now, Giannis says it wasn't a failure, but you got to remember one thing. When you are the number one team, when you have the best record in the NBA and you lose, that is a failure. I hate to say it, that is a failure. You know, not like LeBron was saying last year wasn't a failure. This was a failure. So, Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat are the first team in NBA history to win a series after being in the play-in game. So, basically, this is going to be a hell of a series with New York and Miami. But Miami, they're dangerous. You know who else has to feel really good about this? Boston. Because Boston, if it was the old way, Boston would have probably played the 8 seed. Or, if Boston would have won, would have been the best team in the league, they would have played the Heat as the 8 seed. Milwaukee would have been the 2. They would have got the 7 seed Atlanta. But the way it worked out was that Miami won. They lost the first play-in game to Atlanta, and then Atlanta, went on and had to play the 2 seed Boston. So, like I've mentioned before, that this is going to be a very, very knockdown, drag them out, 1990s type series between the Knicks and the Minnesota or the Miami Heat. I like the Knicks. I like the Knicks and what they're doing. They put away Cleveland, and man, those fans in Cleveland, or those fans in New York, up at the Garden were just electric, man. They were just like letting it fly and doing basically what the what the Knicks fans have been waiting for about a couple decades. The biggest loser has to be the Clippers. The Clippers just look terrible. They look terrible. And believe me, they just wasn't really hitting on anything. So, Lakers won, and they're the second play-in team to make the second round as a 7 seed. What happened to Memphis? What happened to Memphis? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Lakers were 20-9 after the All-Star break. And they've been playing some pretty good ball, I've always believed in the Lakers. I know what you're saying right now. You sitting up there telling it. No, I believed in the Lakers. Like I said, I had to crucify them at one point because they were playing dumb basketball. But the thing about it is that they have found something. They basically have found something. In Austin Reeves. I'm not a big fan of Dennis Schroeder, or whatever his name is. But anyway, they played pretty good. And another thing, too, Anthony Davis has actually been playing some basketball. Davis look good. Look good. Sometimes, LeBron had to just kind of chill out because, he's 38 years old and just trying to, do his little thing or whatever. But you know what? They put it on the shoulders of AD and Austin Reeves, and Hachimura been playing really good ball. This team looks pretty decent. I don't expect them to win the NBA championship, but whoever they get between Sacramento and the Warriors, they play today in, that crucial Game 7. But it's gonna be a fight. But then again, Lakers are a little bit rested now because they took care of business on Friday night, and they get a little bit of time to relax. I'm going to be glued to the television today watching basketball. Yesterday, I was glued to the television watching hockey. So, like I said, it's going to be something else. It's going to be something else for, this second round. But Milwaukee, the Clippers, Memphis, the Hawks, all gone. So we got Phoenix and Denver played last night, and Denver just cruised. They didn't have no problems with Phoenix. But I think it's going to go 7 in that series. Definitely got to go 7 because you got to figure Durant and Paul and Andre Ayton are going to come back and, win a couple games in this series. They probably, when they get home, they'll probably win a couple games. Either way, it's going to be a really good series between Denver and Phoenix. Like I said, Lakers are just waiting for the winner of Golden State and Sacramento. I'd rather play Sacramento because I think Golden State is too dangerous. We don't want to see them. All right. Over in the East, like I said, mentioned before, the Knicks and Miami are going to be dragged down. Fight. It's going to be a fight. Definitely. Definitely going to be a fight. Boston and Philly is going to be a fight as well. Yeah, Philadelphia beat my Nets. But Joel Embiid is questionable. Maybe for the first game and maybe for the series. I tell you the truth, I don't care who wins this series because I think whoever's going to represent the East is going to come out of that Miami and New York Knicks matchup. With Milwaukee out of the way, now I think the Knicks can probably run it. Jalen Brunson has been a monster. And don't forget my man IQ. He had finally had a good game. Had 19 points in that last game against Cleveland. Like I said, it's going to take him a little bit of time. But you know what? At this point right now, they need to play. R.J. Barrett looked pretty good. Mitchell Robinson was a machine inside, rebounding and blocking every damn thing. But anyway, it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out of the East and who comes out of the West. Can we have visions of 50 years ago between the Lakers and the Knicks? Wow, that's going to be something else. That's who I like in the East and the West. I like the Lakers in the West. I like the Knicks in the East. It would be nice to see them play against each other in a championship series. All right, which now finally leads us to the poo-poo of the week. Poo-poo of the week, I have to give it to two guys that, one guy I really liked at one time, but now I'm starting to fade away because of his antics, in John Morant, And the other one was just a total jerk and basically a crybaby. And Dylan Brooks. Oh yeah, you called out LeBron. But guess what? LeBron put it to you kicked you straight in your ass. Yes, he did. And that play where he drove to the basket to tie the game in that one game, I think it was game 5 or game 4 or 5, basically told me that, hey, look, you know what? LeBron and AD and these cast of guys on the Lakers are not going to let them lose this game. Dylan Brooks, you opened your mouth and then you want to blame the media? Come on, man. Own up to it. You want to be a villain? You talked all that, excuse the expression, you talked a lot of shit, but yet and still, you wrote a check that your ass couldn't cash. It's all put up or shut up. And you didn't shut up, did you? You talk the talk, but guess what? LeBron put it to your ass. I gotta give LeBron credit. You know what? I haven't I didn't give them a whole lot of credit, but then again, I told you guys before, and like I said, the guru was always right. I picked the Lakers to win this series. I told you they were picking in 6, and they basically won it in 6. Okay? The guru is always right when it comes to these things. Like I told you guys, the guru is always right when it comes to these things. I didn't see Miami kicking Milwaukee's butt, but yet and still, I did predict the Lakers winning that series. All right, so let's go to some hockey right quick. The curse is over. Toronto, the curse is over. I love the Maple Leafs. I like hockey. I love hockey. I'm a Jersey Devil fan. I'm a Los Angeles Kings fan, but the Kings went down last night, and now they're going to be sitting out. I got teams that I root for. I root for Seattle. I root for Colorado. I root for, the Golden Knights. I root for the Devils. I root for everybody. I like hockey, love hockey. But I'm just sorry to see my Los Angeles Kings go down. The Devils and Rangers are going to play a Game 7. And believe me, I wanted the Devils to win that game last night so they could have finished the back sweep on the Rangers, who beat them the first 2 games. That would have been remarkable to see a back sweep. Last time I seen a good back sweep was, I think it was back in 2001 when the 76ers went into Philadelphia, went into Los Angeles to play the Lakers. They won the first game, and remember when Ty Lue stepped over the guy on the court? Yeah, or Iverson stepped over Ty Lue. I'm sorry. I know, I'm thinking ahead here. But Iverson stepped over Ty Lue. But that was one of my favorite back sweeps of all time. If you can hear it in the background, Alex is acting like a fool and doing what he's doing, so whatever. Toronto advanced, the Oilers advanced. Gotta say goodbye to my Kings, but they had a great season. It's been a lot going on in their season. Getting rid of Jonathan Quick, and I'm proud of the Kings. They played pretty good this year. Made the playoffs, and hey, it wasn't in the cards for them to run it. So that was for the Kings. Kings did their thing. But anyway, the Oilers advanced. Toronto, finally, a first round win since 2004. Toronto finally gets into the second round. Every single year for 11 times they tried to get out of the first round. They have finally made it into the second round. Conference semifinals, they finally made it. Thank God. big props to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the fans of Toronto. Like I said, I like Toronto. I like the Argos. I like the Maple Leafs. I love the Blue Jays. I'm really not a big fan of the Raptors, but, the Raptors are okay. They're okay. But anyway, hockey is really, really good. Heating up. Like I said, last night I was just concentrating on hockey. Hockey is, man, and nothing like the Stanley Cup playoffs. Nothing like it, believe me. Hockey is good. And we know Boston's just waiting around. They're just waiting around for whoever's next. As like Carolina, they're waiting around for whoever's next. Like I said, Seattle has been pretty good. I watched a little bit of their game too. Seattle's not that bad. Eberle is a man. And believe me, I am not surprised of them where they are right now. Yes, they're in their second season, and they've won 3 games. Their first time in the playoffs, they won 3 playoff games. I mean, what can they do? Can they basically make a run just like the Golden Knights did in their first season, going all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, but losing to Washington? They could do it. You never know. But like I said, it's good to see some hockey. Glad to see hockey. And like I said, I really, really enjoyed watching hockey last night. And yeah, I didn't watch any basketball. I watched about like 2 minutes of the game between Phoenix and Denver. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to wrap this up in a few. I might take a little break because I want to get my shouts out. And we're going to take a few minutes to remember somebody that's really near and dear to my heart. And a great man that passed away, and basically one of the people that kind of like changed my life from what it was to where it is now. I believe in the Word of God, and I do. I'm not going to preach to you, but I do love the Word of God. And sometimes I might be off the path, but this guy, when I watched him, he always made me go back on the path and be a little bit better. We lost him this week, or a couple weeks ago, and like I said, he left us before, or he left us, and like I said, his impact has impacted the world. And I was just kind of shocked that I had to find out on my own. Nothing on the television, no mention of it anywhere. But I had to find out on my own. All right, so I'll tell you what, we'll take this little break. And I'll be back with shouts, and I'm going to pay tribute to a legend. You guys hang with me. This is episode 164, part 2 of the Guru Talking Sports podcast. We'll be right back, and here's the voice actress lady once again for the final time. This podcast.
You're listening to the Guru Talking Sports podcast.
Welcome back to the final break from, this is the final break, and of the Guru Talking Sports podcast, episode 164. Like I was mentioned before, I took off last week because something wasn't right. I felt something wasn't right. And I found out that my spiritual leader had passed away. It's very hard, very, very difficult to get through. I'm just going to bear with me and let me get this out. I watched Dr. Charles Stanley for over 20 some odd years. 2 decades, almost 2 decades. No matter where I was, I've always tried to sit down and take some of the messages that he gave us. And listening to him changed my life, more or less. You know, I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about religion. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the way to go. That is for you. But I am going to tell you that, excuse me.
In a world full of fakes, how do you avoid buying fake items that look just like the real thing?
Excuse me for a second.
Experts say it's all in the details.
I'm sorry about that. Technical difficulties, and like I said, they happen. Believe me, they happen. As you know, Caden Guru is not here, so I can't really blame it on Caden Guru. But what I was saying to you is that for 2 decades I've listened to Dr. Stanley, and he kind of put me in the right sense of frame of mind to have myself take a look at the way I view God and religion. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and preach to you or talk to you about right or wrong. But I tell you one thing, when I watched Dr. Stanley, he told me basically to have a personal relationship with God. Now, like I said, you know, what you do in your life is what you do. But for me, Sunday mornings was always reserved for getting up at around 5:30 and putting Dr. Stanley on at 6, watching him, listening to him, and basically learning a lot from him. Dr. Stanley passed away on the 18th of April. He was 90 years old. And I just wanted to say that I am very, very touched and very saddened by the mentioning of his passing. I found out, and like I said, it wasn't right for me to take last Sunday and go on, because I was a little bit heartbroken, a little bit sad, a little bit upset. And like I said, it just didn't feel right for me to try to do something that I love, doing this podcast, bringing this podcast to you, and with a heavy heart. I'm very, very saddened by his passing. Because like I said, he was a spiritual leader that basically I listened to for a long time. And he changed the way I see things in my day-to-day life. Dr. Stanley was one of those guys that was, in the beginning, he was a fire and brimstone preacher that brought the word of God to you. And, you know, something that no other preacher could do. I mean, yeah, there was Billy Graham and there were other, evangelistic leaders. But Dr. Stanley seemed like he was just that guy that could sit down and talk to you and basically understand what you need and give you that spiritual uplifting that we all kind of crave in life. You know, I've never heard him be political about what was going on. He always mentioned that there were difficult times in our country, and that was it was good. You know, good to hear someone that was not either left-winged or right-winged or just basically one of those things. Thank you, Dr. Stanley, for giving me a sense of who I am and what I can do in this life and what I can basically be by having a personal relationship with God. My relationship with God is not the same as yours. And like I said, he always said, everything will vary. But the thing about it is that he basically lived a life of faith and was influential in me. And I thank him for it. Dr. Stanley, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everything. And I did want to mention that there was another person that we lost, Harry Belafonte. The great Harry Belafonte. Finally seen. He's finally with the Lord as well. So I have to say that we, at first it was 3. I thought it was 3, but now I wanted to mention Harry Belafonte as well. The 4th person that we have lost. We also lost Len Gorman, the Dancing with the Stars guy. Sorry to hear that. And it was 5. This is a whole bunch of people that we have lost. But I just wanted to make sure that I said something really about Dr. Stanley and his influence on me. And like I said, he said, have a personal relationship with God. And like I said, my relationship with God will vary from what you do. There's a whole lot of stuff that's going on in this world that you guys are aware of. But like I said, I'm trying to do what I do. This is what I do. This is how I feel. So I want you guys to know that. This is the end of the month, so I always have to give some shout outs. And one thing I do want to mention is that tomorrow will be May the 1st. And this will be the first time in my life that I've actually literally worn shorts for a whole year. Because I drive a truck, and I'm basically in a truck all the time. The weather really doesn't affect me. You know, sometimes I might have to get out in the rain. I might have to get out in the snow, you know, do a few things, you know, to crank my landing gear and do all the things that, you know, which, you know, do the things of my job, which I really love. I really love my job. But basically, it's not a job. It's a traveling show. And believe me, I got a piece of that traveling show on, I think it was Wednesday, because Wednesday was a trip. It was a trip. I had just got back from Boston, and you know, me being the person that I am and the type of person I am, I asked my dispatcher if he needed any help. He said, "Yeah, I basically do. I was calling you to tell you that I got something that you need to run down to Baltimore." And I said, "Okay, no problem." So I ran it down to Baltimore, and I was kind of taken back on where I had to go because, you know, being the driver that I am, it's always, you have to drive into, you know, you never really drive into the city of anywhere. I've you know, I actually drove into New York, in a part of New York, I think it was in Brooklyn, that I was really nervous about driving into. I have driven into Boston in a part that I was kind of nervous about driving into. Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia. Some of these places I drove into, and I was really, really nervous because I didn't know how a truck could get into those areas. This one was the most challenging in Baltimore. I had to go into Baltimore, and I'm not going to mention where, but it was so weird because I did it during rush hour, and I had to stop traffic and basically back into a dock that was maybe 2 trailers long, and got in there praying the whole time. And that's why, you know, like I said, prayer comes in when you basically need it. So I get in there, and I find out that I'm in the wrong location. And I was like, oh my gosh, now I got to get out of here. And I got out safely. I went inside the city, down by the harbor, and drove in there. And I was like nervous as all hell. But I got out, and it was really cool. So, didn't break, it didn't mess up anything, didn't hit anything, which is a good thing, knock on wood. Anyway, so that was a part of my journey this week that was a little bit challenging, and believe me, I had high anxiety, but I got over it, and everything worked out. So, all right, so, like I said, moral of the story is basically, I trust my dispatcher. I trust him, and he trusts me to do the right thing. And I was like really, really nervous, but you know, I'm glad that I made it. I'm glad that I made it. Like I said, I have to give you guys a story of, you know, a story of what I do on my job as well. So I'm so glad that everything worked out. So, but like I said, I'm good, and I'm just glad to be back. I'm really glad to be back with you because it was really hard to be away from you guys for a week. But like I said, I wanted to make sure that I was right, you know. And like I said, you know, my anxiety gets a little high sometimes. But I don't want to cheat you guys. That's one thing I will never do. I will never get on this microphone and cheat you guys. Because that's who I am. I want to make sure that everything is right before I do anything. And it helps when I can do it the right way. And with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you again for listening to me. Thank you for taking this little trip with me as I walk down a little bit of memory lane to remember some people and talk about some sports. All right. The Hey song will be played later, a little bit later after I finish this. Like I said, you can find me on YouTube, The Guru of Sports Show. Facebook, I'm at Gurus Briscoe. Guru Talking Sports _podcast on IG. You can email me at gurusdailyshorts@gmail.com, or you can even call the show 302-468-7239, 302-468-7239. You know where to find me on the podcast outlets. All of the podcast outlets you can find me on. Spreaker's the main vessel that we come out of. The big ones, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio is the main ones also. I want to give a shout out to Miss Mary Mack. Miss Mary Mack has been traveling a lot. But like I said, I wanted to mention this. She says she want to welcome you to and listen to that series that she has going on. I think it's episode 3 right now. From April 16th to May 21st, the Bereaving Mothers podcast series on the Mary Mack Show, where 6 amazing mothers share their painful experiences before, during, and after the loss of a child's death. Raw, real, and deep conversations. Watch the videos on our YouTube channel, The Mary Mack Show, and also share with those who have endured the loss of a child. I'm very lucky I haven't lost a child, but like my brother did, and you know what I might have to do is I might have to share this with my brother. But definitely go to www.marymac.info to check her out. And like I said, I will always promote her because she is the main authority on grief and bereavement. And she has helped me and my family during those times that I had, where I had grief and bereavement. Shout out to my man, Jeff Duarte, Cali Sports News. I know he's really busy with hockey right now. And like I said, Jeff, I feel your pain with the Kings losing last night. The Young GM show with my cousin Curtis and my cousin Jarrett. Appreciate you. My main man, Danny Rivera, my hip-hop icon idol. And one of the first guys to ever rap Spanish on a rap record. Big props to you. Always good to talk to you. And like I said, I'm going to send you something as soon as I can. I've just been a lot of stuff that's going on. Shout out to my man Dave May Jr., my insider baseball authority. Like I said, when I surround myself with good people that are smarter than the guru, I feel a lot better. And Dave May is one of the classiest guys. And like I said, I always can, talk to him. And like I said, I'm definitely going to talk to his brother soon. And, definitely have a great time when I talk to this amazing dude. Great dude. Big props to you, Dave May Jr. My crew, Caden Guru, executive producer and board op, Ray Guru, my musical technical advisor and music man. Dante Guru, our backup co-host and show information man, and also the memory of Cousin Aaron. Cousin Aaron's day will be coming up on May 13th, which will be the 1 year anniversary of his passing on. And what I might do is just do a whole show for him and do nothing but remember his memory. And like I said, it's been a year, a tough year without him. But we always remember him. And I know he's up there right now saying, Guru, you got to do better. And believe me, I'll try to do better. Our motto and saying is that this has been a Black Goat production for Black Goat Sports. Copyright 2023. All rights reserved. We don't hate. We congratulate. We always create and we don't steal from anybody. Believe me. And like I said in the beginning of this podcast in part 1, that we give credit to everyone. We don't steal anything. We make sure that we give the credit where credit is due. At this time, it's time to play the Hey song. And it's time to play and recognize some people. Shout out to Bella B, my man Jeff in Southland, my man Rick in Buffalo. I spoke to him. We got to get him back on pretty soon because smack off season is actually started. My friend Mel, all my D-Alien people, Dan, Mike, Adriana, Rob, Senior, Justin, the coach, my man Dave Shepard from CBS Sports Radio. My friends on Facebook, Charlie, Chris, Kate, Denise Hyde, Jeff Brown, Keith Stewart, Rocco, Kareem. It was good to see you on Friday, and please give your father my number so we can keep in touch, and I really appreciate seeing you. My man Jamie, Mike Fox, my cousin Dane, my Uncle Gary. It's good to talk to you always. Always good to talk to you. Kevin Ryder, appreciate you, and talk to you soon. My other friends and friends of Cousin Aaron's, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Then I have to mention Anya Myers, Elizabeth Fielder. Miss Ann, I'm going to talk to you pretty soon because, like I said, this very special thing is coming up. Ashley Holt, Sheila Brooks, my New York guys. Even my Boston guys. I had to mention my man Bobby from Boston. New friend. He's going to be in our fantasy football league pretty soon. Brian, Ted, Jason, all you guys out in New York. I miss you guys. And I'll probably talk to you guys soon. All my people at work. Did I mention the voice actress lady? Voice actress lady, thank you for everything that you do. Appreciate you. Hunter, Ted, Tony, Betty, Kate, Christian, Dylan. I know Dylan, I was going to call you Garrett again. My fault. But I love you guys. Everybody out there that I didn't get a chance to mention, I do appreciate you. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate everything that you do. And thank you once again for everything. Like I said, this is going to be a 2-part episode. And please, please, please come back next week and check us out. The Guru of Sports Show. This is episode 164, part 1 and 2. And we will be back next week with episode 1, probably going to have to skip it. We're going to have to probably skip on to 166 or so. I'll let you know when we get there. You guys be safe. Be kind. Remember, all these people. And do your best. Do your best to be good to somebody. It's not a crime. It's not something that we should take for granted. But let's be nice to people. God bless you all, and until we meet again next week, this is the Guru saying the Guru will see you real soon. Later.